everyone. I'm Allie Violet Vixen Commissaro, and welcome to a pretty little podcast. Tonight's going to be a little different because Jesse had a little emergency, but I have a big surprise for everyone. I have Jimmy Marciano and Nick Brambilla of Ear Candy. Hey
Right.
guys! Did I pronounce your last name right?
Me? Yeah,
Brambilla?
you did better than I do. I can't
Yeah,
figure it out.
I'm so bad with pronouncing. I was like, I'm gonna break it down. So, but how you guys doing tonight?
Great. How are
Great.
you?
Thank you so much for being here. So, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
I have to know, how did your cover band come together and what inspired you to form the group?
Okay, so
This basically goes to you, Nick.
this band goes back a long ways. In '96, I started the band. Uh, the original band I was in ended, and I wanted to do some covers and make some money and stuff like that. So I started the cover band around '96. We started to play out around '95, and then we started playing out in '96. And the band's been going since '96 till now. The name's changed in two
Well, where,
thousand.
where was the first performance that you performed at?
Oh man.
Can you remember that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think it was. Oh, I think it was Crossroads in Benstown. I think it was Crossroads.
Nice.
Uh, but yeah, then we changed the name in 2000, and I forget what. Oh, so we changed the name in 2000 to STEM, and then we had it all the way up until 2020. And then we changed it back to Your King.
I like
Should
your
probably call it. We were hoping to call it eye candy, but we're getting a little older
Oh
now.
my God. I did not mean to do that. I don't drink very often and I had drank a little bit that night. So when I posted it, John wrote me, he's like, you posted the wrong thing last night. Well, when I'm, when I go to bed, I sleep hard. So I didn't get it till the next morning.
Oh, I thought it was a joke anyway. That when you did it.
No, I didn't mean to do it. I actually I was saying one thing and writing another. When I was younger, I thought I was going to be a rapper or a DJ or something. So I had given myself the little nickname of Eye Candy.
I
So
think
I guess I had kind of like twisted it when I was making the post.
That's all.
So you got to tell us about the genres of music that your cover band kind of like specializes in.
Well, so
With that said, I'm wearing my MTV shirt because a lot
I
of
yeah.
love
them
it.
I recognize.
So going back to when I started the band, so it was '90s, mid '90s. We were doing a lot of the '90s. Um, the band's been through a lot of musicians. I had a girl singer at one time. I had George Godotti from Heaven's Edge in the band. I had Greg. What's his name? He's probably full of copies, but Buddy Cash. Greg Cash. Greg Cash was in the band on bass, and so the band's been through a lot of musicians throughout the whole career of the band. But the music now that we're doing is, so we do '90s, we'll do some '80s, we'll do country.
If
Like,
everyone's dancing, we go right to the dance stuff. That's why I was interested when when Nick first asked me to join. Uh, when I heard the material, I said, "This is really cool." I had to learn the stuff. It wasn't like your typical classic rock, which I'm used to doing, which is great. But it was nice to do some Jim Blossom, some Foo Fighters, uh, Huey Lewis, whatever. Just to do some stuff that the younger crowd likes, the Blink 182, and it's fun to play because it's different for me, and the younger crowd seems to really dig it a lot, and
Oh,
if one of your
I was having the time of my life at PC Pub. I'm so excited. You guys have some more dates there.
yeah,
lots of dates there. We're
Yeah,
hoping,
I think the next one's June 3rd.
next week. Yeah,
Yeah.
a week or 2 weeks.
Yeah,
the,
I,
the
like,
summer's
lose my
starting.
days at this point. But, so how do you handle requests from the audience during a live performance?
My tips. No, I'm just kidding. Well, if usually well, I'll tell you the story. What the young kids do is they hold up their phone. I shouldn't say young kids. They'll hold up their phone and has the song on it, which is really cool. I've never seen it. So we'll see that, and most of the times we don't know their songs, but somebody will write it on a napkin or something, and if we know it, sure.
But we'll learn it for the next show. And we don't take, some people do offer tips. I'm like, no, don't
Yeah,
give us,
no, we don't.
we don't want tips,
Do you
But a
guys
lot of
kinda keep, like, a mental record of, like, songs that you might wanna learn for another show? Is that
definitely.
how it kinda goes?
That's how we started doing it. We've done a few college parties and realized, after seeing all these songs, maybe we should learn this. And
oh
that's
yeah,
when
yeah.
we started doing the Blink and stuff like that. And
Which a lot of the other cover bands do too. Cover, you know what I mean? They'll cover a lot of that stuff, and we were we were a little more heavier, but then we started transitioning to like because the girls like the country, so we'll play that, And,
but before I joined, right? Because when I joined,
well,
you guys were already doing, the
yeah.
top 40 and
Oh yeah, yeah,
younger
Do you guys do
material.
any of, Jelly Roll? He's, like, the only, like, one I know that's, like, popular right now with country music.
no, I mean we are a little behind on our country. We gotta catch up to that. But I mean,
Yeah, I
There's
only know, like, the traditional, like, couple bar songs that play in
yeah,
between.
I actually like doing the country's really interesting. It's fun to do. You'd be surprised how many people know it and like it.
it's rock. It's really rock music. It's all
I've
rock.
been to country concerts, and they are a lot of fun.
They
Those
really are.
people,
I've been
they
going to one
really
time.
know how to party.
They really do.
But
Okay,
that's the thing about our band.
how do you handle recreating the sound and energy of the original artist? Because you
Um,
take on, like, every song. I mean, they
Well,
sound
when you heard us, did you think Nick sounded like the guy singing?
yes.
A lot of people came up to me and said, "Man, your singer sounds just like John Mellencamp on that song, or whoever we did." As far as that's got to be hard. When it comes to my part, I'll learn the song off the record, and I'll try and just get the right tone, use the right effects, and try and play it close to the album. Because people, I think they want to hear it the way they heard on the radio, the
yeah.
way there. That's you know, unless we were an original
Is
band.
that who you get compared to the most? Mellencamp?
Who?
Me?
Yeah.
Ah, I mean, I just always copied the way this I doing covers. I just copied the singer. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? I used to sing a lot of Van Halen. I love Van Halen, so I would try to copy David Lee Roth as best as I could. That kind of stuff. White Snake. I would just try to copy these guys. And then when the '90s came around, playing that music to me was really simple because their singers were a lot of them were really easy to sing. Um, so I don't know. I just copied them. And then when Jimmy joined the band, we got way tighter because we weren't really a full time cover band back then. So before he joined, we all had careers and we were just doing this like maybe 3 times, 4 times a month. And when Jimmy joined, we started getting serious about doing it full time. And I left my career, Dominic left his, and we got tighter that way. The more you
Mhm.
play and the more somebody in the band dissects something a little better, you get tighter.
Right.
You can tell when
Considering.
people are friends in a band. Like, you can tell when they get along
Oh
versus
yeah.
when they,
Really,
like, do not really wanna
Chemistry is
be
great.
on stage with that person.
yes, it's really important. It really is. You can feel it up there. Some guys can fake it. I faked it plenty of times, but how long does that last? People they're smart. They see right through you. And since I just started learning this stuff, I was like, guys, I just learned this off the record. Like maybe it goes like this. I'm trying to learn it exactly like the record. They're used to doing it their way, so we kind of all just listen to the album, just try and sound, play it just like it was done in the studio.
Well, it's also easier too because we don't rehearse. So a lot of people always ask me that, like, do you guys rehearse? It's not that we don't rehearse; it's we don't rehearse together because people live far away and that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
So what we'll do is, if you learn it, I mean, it's covers music. I mean, if you just learn it the way it is, Jimmy, before we go on, when he's warming up, or whatever, I'll ask him to play it so I can hear it real quick. Okay, that's good. And we just, hope for the best.
It's nice to rehearse, but we all do live pretty far from each other. But
Well,
what are you gonna do? So
I
we'll
feel
we'll
like
make
if you can just step in there and all kind of learn it like separately and just step in there in the moment and do your thing, that's pretty amazing.
Well, when you've been playing with someone long enough, and I've known Jimmy for 30 years. I mean, and Dominic and I have been playing together since I started the band, and I've known our drummer Bob forever. And we have two drummers that play with us, Scott and Bob. And I've known them guys for God, going over 25 years. So when you know the person, you know how they're going to do things and stuff like
Yeah, and now, after a year being together, musically, I know these guys. I could just tell
that. Hmm.
what Nick's thinking. And that takes time. People don't realize, and I know what Bob's going to do. I feel, we feel each other. Chemistry is, we're connected, and it takes time. It doesn't always matter how great you are, it's just how
Right.
good you connect, and we connect pretty good. It's
So,
nice.
Nick, do you practice throwing the mic?
For that much.
With the stand.
Because you're throwing that mic like all over the place. It's so entertaining to me.
It's funny. I stopped doing it a long time ago because I busted my face,
Oh,
my tooth with it one time, and it scared me to do it anymore. Then I just started doing. Actually, I just started doing it again.
I was going to ask you, has it ever gotten away from you?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure he hit some people in the crowd.
No, I never hit it. I hit myself. I hit myself. If the lights in my PC pub, that's when I hit my tooth. Remember, my lip was bleeding.
Oh,
The
everything
light
at
was in my
PC Pub. You
yeah.
don't want to miss a show at PC Pub. Something always happens.
Yeah, we love it there. Yeah, they're really good to
Oh,
us.
the owners.
Oh, their
Nice
food is
food,
beyond.
great sound system.
When you order a cheesesteak and it comes out and it's like a loaf of bread just filled with
Mm.
meat, like that's my kind of cheesesteak.
Yeah, I think the
So
owner does all the cooking too.
Yeah, I think, and then he'll get us a pizza at the end.
good. So, can you describe a memorable performance that Ear Candy has had and what made it so special?
Hmm.
I just
I
think,
mean, that might be good to you because I've.
well, I don't know. I just think
You
sometimes
guys
just
play all over the place.
when you have a moment, you had a moment. Everyone feels it's like wow, and you're not even thinking. It's just musically together. It happens a few times. You can't really plan it. Uh, I know we had a few.
Well, one that sticks out to me is last summer when we played Princeton in Avalon. It's a really young crowd, and I was a little nervous because it's our first time in there, and I was kind of, are they gonna like
We
some of
all
the?
were, yeah.
And that show went over so good. I mean, that's why we're back again this summer. It just went over so good. It was so much fun. I just remember that gig really good. Like, 'cause remember I was saying to you, like, oh no, and then we just went up there and kicked the ass, and it was great. I remember
Even the
college
college
parties are fun.
parties we do. I was like, oh man, I hope they know the songs we're doing. I hope we, and they knew the words. I was watching them all sing, and I gave the girls my mic, and they sang, they loved it, and yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
We have a lot of good shows. We all get along really good, and we care.
Yeah, we
We,
have fun.
we care, and we listen to each other while
You
we're
guys are
playing.
like in the moment. Like you guys are one of those bands that kind of go improv. Like at that one
We
show,
do.
I couldn't understand. I'm like, why does this woman keep asking him to play Led Zeppelin? Why does she
Uh,
keep hounding him? And I could tell like you were kind of like going back and forth with her, like teasing her a little bit. And then I saw you do that slide magic, and I'm like, wow,
And
this is
we don't
so
plan
cool.
that stuff. Nick will just throw in a whole lot of love or something, and we'll just and it'll just happen. Somebody will maybe start playing quiet, or somebody will just start doing something, and then we'll just kind of go with it. And that wasn't planned. Yeah, I did. We did do it a few times, like chicken and Pete's, and I was like, man, I'd like to do that again. I could never do it again. It has to just happen. It just you can't plan that stuff. It's music,
And we get a lot of Zeppelin requests because they know he was in Get the Lead Out. So
and
we
they
get
think
tons of it.
they think I know
We're
all
gonna
the
get
lyrics.
into all that. So, how do you guys engage with your audience and create such a interactive atmosphere during your show? Like other
Well,
than throwing the mic and doing stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So what I like to do is I like to judge the audience when I walk in. I like to see the atmosphere. As soon as I walk in, I can tell right away if it's a crowd that's already loud and they're energized. You can tell when they're energized. And when you walk in, sometimes you can tell when it's not energized, and you say, okay, well, we're gonna have to energize the crowd. And you try to do that. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it does. You just gotta be able to read them, and see if you can get them going. Really,
Yeah,
I like it.
definitely. They were both times that I've been up there, it was just fun. It was absolutely fun. One time
Yeah.
we had the tables, the next time it was pretty packed and they couldn't have all the tables. But such a fun experience, and that's a big stage.
it is big stage. We actually enjoy playing sometimes the smaller stages, because I could feel the drums, I could hear the guys better. Sometimes in these big stages, it looks cool, but we're like, hey, man, what are you doing over there? Like, we like to be together. It really
And I
does make
like
a
to
difference.
be right up front, so it's like very hard for me to get you all on my live. I like try to go around so I get
We play bigger
everybody
stages than
equally.
that, like each parks, casinos bigger, and the Seaport Piers,
Super.
so big. It's nice. It is kind of a, big time looking. But when we play the smaller stages, we're just tighter.
Yeah, you feel a little more. Yeah.
We're more in tune with each other for some reason. I guess it's because we're right near each other and communicating just
So what's
mentally.
one of the venues that you would consider like one of your like go-to spots? One of the ones like
What do you mean? Like go
that
to?
you just always enjoy going to. It's
Oh,
always
Man,
I really do like everywhere I play. I really do.
people ask a lot.
I like the casino because I like the to look down on everything. I could see the whole, that I really like the Parks Casino gig.
The venues that have
Slims, I like Slims.
the
That's
venues
fun.
that have sound and lights is always nice
Oh
because
yeah.
it just sounds like a CD up there. And you could really you could really play everything really on the money and
that
and
actually gets to my next question. How do you handle technical difficulties and unexpected issues during a performance?
Many years of playing. That's how you do it. Because either you can, get frazzled and let it overtake you, or you
it
just,
could.
like just deal with things. Just deal with it. That's all.
It's
Monitors go out. Things happen.
it's on your facial expression too. You can't let the crowd know. You can't. You just gotta kind of just ignore it and just keep playing. And most of the time, people won't.
Nobody knows.
They won't know that we're going through a technical problem unless they're hearing noises or something.
Or Jimmy's yelling at the drummer.
No, I'm never yelling. Not Bob. Stop, maybe playing around.
So after seeing your crazy schedule that's just lists, how do you guys balance your personal lives and your music career?
Well, I think because we've been doing it all our lives,
They're just used to it.
it's already balanced. we're excited to play a lot because we'll just get tighter, we need to play 3, 4 days a week because that's the only way we're going to get tight, because I won't see these guys for a couple days. And then we start playing Thursday night or Friday night. I'm like, oh, man, I got to warm up already, again. Saturday night, we're ready. So it works out. Our children are used to it, not saying us, because we've all done tour before, you know, and we're actually home more now than ever. Really, we're really just
Yeah.
gone at when everyone's sleeping. So it works out.
Plus we
So,
play
what would
Maryland.
you say is the vision of the band for the future?
What is the
Is there
vision?
anything left that you want to do?
Yeah, I mean, just keep hammering away, play different songs, try some different things.
Keep learning new material.
Yeah,
Yep, that's always good.
like
Play more of the college parties are great. I mean, they really appreciate it. They love it. Especially when you do what they know.
what's really nice about that too. Like they like our generation of music, so that makes it
They do.
so much easier. I mean, we're not a classic rock band, but we do play classic rock. We play, like we're thinking in our heads, they want to hear that, and then they're like, no, play, Zeppelin or play, what's that? They sing along to. Have you seen the Rain,
Yeah,
CCR?
is there any
You know,
songs that really get you excited when they're
yeah,
requested?
and it's like, oh, this is awesome. They want Bon Jovi, they want, Motley Crue. We whipped out Livewire, just kind of messing around.
They they do love the
They
'80s.
loved it. Yeah,
They do love doing the '80s. I suggest
so
doing
that
more
was
'80s
cool.
because their parents probably play the '80s stuff so much, and now the kids are like, oh, know it so well.
So, as
It's really
far as cover songs, so best request and that request that would make you cringe. Is there any?
cringe.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
which one of you?
You
like
mean hard to
just
do?
not
No, like
really want to do it. You might put your
Uh,
game
I
face on, but
Not yet in this band. I haven't had. I'm only more like I don't know it, so I don't want to do it and mess it up if it's going to be sloppy. But we do try a lot of stuff if they want to hear. But I haven't
yeah,
had any cringe songs in this band yet.
I really don't either. I
No
mean,
one's really asked for anything that we don't want to do. We won't do it because we don't know it.
yeah.
And if we do it, we'll try and do it our best. I
now
think
I
I
know it
think
probably changes. But what would you say is one of your favorite requests right now? Like, what's one that gets you really hype when?
That's a good question 'cause I don't know.
do we get a lot of requests though? Really?
I try to ignore it,
See,
but
usually they'll come to me and I just point right to Nick. I'm like, just go to the singer. So I don't know what they're requesting because he has to sing it. So I'm like, look, he's got to sing it. I don't know if he knows it. We could probably pull it off, maybe. But if he doesn't want to sing it or know it.
that's the thing you're thinking about. So somebody asks you for a song, you're kind of like, oh, shoot, and if you know, you're like, oh, okay, we can do that.
It is good to know everything. You know, I'm hoping in a couple of years we'll know almost everything, at least one or two songs from every artist. Which is important. You got to kind of be like a live jukebox.
It's hard to please everybody, so you're always going to get some people that no, they don't play that song.
And unfortunately, I'm still the new guy, so these guys probably know a lot more of that stuff that people are requesting than I know.
Yeah, blame Jimmy.
So yeah, so I'm like, well, I'm new, I'm the new kid on the block, I don't really, I don't know it, so I'll take the blame. And they'll say, well, how about some Van Halen? And I love Eddie. He's like my favorite guitarist in the world,
Well,
but he's
since Jimmy, since you've had experience with original bands, the
yes,
tribute band thing, and the cover band thing, which one did you find most challenging?
challenging or exciting or
I would say challenging
meaning
first. We'll get into exciting.
challenging. maybe
Like
uh,
personally challenging.
tribute the tribute band because you have to sound exactly like it, and I thought it should be note for note, and me and and get the let out. Me, the singer, and I completely agreed on that. We thought everything should be completely accurate. If I would hear something on the radio, I'd call him and say, "Hey, Lon, you might be singing this wrong." And he'd be like, "Wow, really? Let me know what it is." And vice versa. We were all really open to our each other's parts. We would listen to each other and critique each other, and that's what made the band so perfect. You have to. I think a tribute band. I don't think necessarily has to look like the band unless it's Kiss or something. It should sound like it.
So let's get into your background a little bit. So I'm gonna do a whole run through because Jimmy, you just have like a whole crazy bio. Like you've lived
I was
a
a lucky
really,
guy. I
really
think you are.
interesting, fun life. Okay, from playing the Philly club scene at an early age to taking risks of moving to LA to start Angoria. Did I say that right?
Angora.
Angora.
Angora. Yes.
Angora
Angora.
with John Karobi. If I
Karabi.
say any of these last names wrong, like I'm so bad with last names.
I won't correct you then.
But and he was from Motley Crue and Scream. Those are
Scream them
big
up.
names.
Afterwards, yeah, him and I moved to California together in 1985 to start the band. We were already actually together in Philly. We couldn't really, we didn't see it happening out here. So we moved to LA, moved the whole band out there. Actually, our name was Fragile in Philly, and then we changed it to Raggedy Ann in California for about a good year. And then we decided to change the name to Angora. I actually have the Raggedy Ann logo somewhere. This picture's probably on my Facebook. But we thought LA would be, the place to go. And of course, since we moved to LA, yeah, everyone's like getting signed. Brittany Fox and Heaven's Edge. So the love was already there. Yeah, but everyone was taking off. But um, John and I moved to LA, and then after to fast forward 5 years later, when I moved back to Philly, John started to Scream with the guys in Racer X and did a great work. And then he was actually invited to join Motley Crue. And he did that record.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he was really
So you skipped a
lucky.
whole section when you like skipped from going to LA back to here. Let's get into when you got over to LA and are in Angora. Can
85.
you attracted music legend, rock legend, Gene
Yeah, we
Kiss?
couldn't believe it. We're playing the
Or,
Troubadour.
I said Gene Kiss, Gene Simmons
Which was
of
so
Kiss.
cool. We're playing the Troubadour, Gazares, Roxy, everywhere, whiskey, and people would just come up to us. And the one guy was Rob Cavallo, just handed us his card. Said, "I'm Rob Cavallo from Warner Brothers. I'd love to work with you guys." And this guy, well, then he was just A&R for Warner Brothers. Now he's one of the top producers in the world for Goo Goo Dolls, Alanis Morissette. He founded Green Day. Uh, then there was one point where Gene Simmons, I don't know how, I think our management found him, and Gene Simmons started managing us, and came to meet us at SIR Studio, and he was tough though. We're hanging in. We couldn't believe Gene walks in, he just grabs
Well,
a
yeah,
chair.
what was going through your head like when
I
you
couldn't
found
believe it.
out that he was
I was
interested?
such a Kiss fan
He was going to join
growing
Kiss.
up, and I don't know. We didn't know if he was going to come with the makeup or what. Here he comes in short pants.
If he had told you to paint your face, would you have done it?
I don't think he would have told. I don't know what we would have done.
If he had suggested it.
I don't know. He did suggest a lot of things. He gave us a lot of advice, but he was so funny, and really intelligent and really cool
Can
guy.
you tell us like one of the things that you consider that would be like good advice to
Well, I
younger
mean, writing
musicians?
songs, you guys have great songs. You guys are a great band, but you gotta have that hit. You know, uh, he said you gotta write about something. Like yes, skid marks in your underwear or something like that. Whatever. He said if you write a song and it sounds like something else, he said, stick with that. Even if it sounds like a song, just go with that because sometimes that means something. He said he's done that. He gave us, for instance, is like Hallie wrote a song. It sounds like a Who song. He just changed the key, maybe changed the tempo, and it was his song now.
Mhm.
Gene was just really funny. A lot of jokes. Really intelligent and just really cool. I was only 20 years old at the time. So we were. You got to remember, we're kids. I mean, our drummer was 19. We're making fun of him. We're at the dinner table. You can put that light on if you want. You could put that one that goes all the way. There you go. And we were making fun of Gene, sticking our tongue out and go, yeah, and, because I don't know why. We were just being ourselves, and he was really cool. It was a good time. We also worked with Steve Vai too, because he happened to produce one of our CDs, and Steve was great to work with too. But my favorite producer was Rob Balla. He's really made us feel comfortable and got the best out of us without intimidating. And he worked us, but yeah, it just he knew how to handle it. Steve was great, but I was a little star struck with Steve for some reason. So I listened to everything he did. And he said, "Listen, you don't have to listen to everything. I'm just giving you advice." And I did. And when I went back and listened to some of the demos, I was like, "Well, that's not really me playing. I wasn't really happy with because I wasn't being myself. It was kind of just doing whatever Steve told me to do,
Mhm.
which he told me not to do. But he did give me good advice too. A lot of times he said, when you're doing your rhythm tracks, just go off a little bit. Don't be so. Don't just do some leads while you're doing rhythms. And just make it feel, make it flow, and so that it feel more natural. So I learned a lot with Steve too. You we
So,
worked with a lot.
how long have you been doing the slide?
I
Like
had to
using
learn how
slide?
to play slide when I joined Black Eyed Susan, so probably 1991, because
Okay.
I
So
never
on
touched
the
it before.
timeline, is that's after Heaven's Edge?
Yes. Uh,
Yeah.
after Heaven's Edge, I left, unfortunately, Heaven's Edge for Black Eyed Susan. I really loved the record so much. And I told Dean, I was friends with Dean, I said, I love your album. I actually learned a couple songs. And he said, well, we want you in the band. And you don't even have to audition, but I need to know right now, if you book a gig. And he said, but you're going to have to learn, guitar tunings and you're going to have to learn how to play slide and sing, you know? So I was like, oh, and I'm buying all these slides. I didn't know what finger to put on and what size to get or glass versus metal. And I just started learning some slide stuff. Slides are pretty cool. It's fun. I'm still learning, actually. I have some friends that are amazing side players.
Oh, and at that time when you were in Black Eyed Susan, you stole your brother out of my band. Remember?
Well, he's my brother.
His brothers
I was
play
about to
drums.
say because you were saying earlier one of the other members was in Heaven's Edge, where
True.
Yeah, he was in your team.
Gigi. Sure, it's great guy.
Good friend of mine, and he joined. He when they were on hiatus, they weren't playing anymore, and he wasn't doing anything for 2 years. And I invited him out. We were looking for a bass player. I don't know why. I think Dominic left the band for a while or something. And I called Gigi up, and he came out, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll do it."
Heaven's Edge is the first band I ever toured with. And it was actually a van tour. We would go out for a month and come out, and it was the best tour. One of the best bands I've ever toured with because that's when I learned after touring with bands for years. It's all about the company. Not that anyone's bad or any other bands. It was just I had so much fun with Heaven's Edge. And they were great guys. We had a ball, and that was a van tour. Now I've gone on bus tours where everyone was miserable, but it's all about, like we said with ear
Mhm.
candy, it's connection and friends, and bros.
No,
You
you
gotta,
were telling me the one night that I think it was it Get the Let Out that 15 people on a tour bus?
yeah. Well, I mean, tour bus is expensive, daily. And
It's a
you're talking
lot of
6 cars
personalities
and
on one
vans,
bus.
you're talking the crew. Then some guys would bring their girlfriends or wives, and then you're talking like 15, 16 people in the bus. And when you're sleeping, it's fine. But when you're up, there's nowhere to sit and
Gotta wait for the bathroom.
gotta wait in line for the bathroom. But we were eventually going to get 2 buses. I wasn't sure what bus I was going to go on though because I hung out with the crew so much. I said, man, I don't know. It's going to be tough because I love the crew, and I did that in most bands I've ever been in. It was always hanging with the crew. You know,
And you
everyone goes,
also you just played recently with them as a stand-in, LeComp,
yes,
Michael
the whole
LeComp.
weekend.
I
Well, that was
love
great.
Mike Valandrin. He's so fun.
He's great. I just kind of met Mike V. I call him only a few years ago. He's awesome. But me and Mike LeComp, we've known each other. I've known him since I was like 15 years old because we were on the same club circuit. He was in Slider and I was in Kashmir. When you were playing, so we were all on the
Mhm.
same Freddie Baker circuit. And so I've known Mike all my life. But I joined Mike when I came back from California in 1990. So I did
And
play with
that
him.
tail that keeps going by is my dog. All you can
I
see
just
is their
got
little fan
exactly.
tail.
I just got some kittens.
What?
I just
Oh
got two
yeah, the
kittens.
kittens that you just put online.
Yes,
So cute.
I
Now
really,
did you
it was time. It was time. A dog would have been nice, but they're a lot of work, and I don't know. I've had cats all my life. I even have a cat right here on my arm.
You can leave cats alone too. Let them out.
If I go on vacation, I'll take them with me. I'm sure people take their cats on vacation, right?
Yeah.
I don't go on
if I had a
vacation.
cat, I would. I mean,
We're musicians. We don't get vacation.
cats are easy though. I feel like I mean, I love. Have you ever seen Carla's cat? She's got the Sphinx cat.
No, Carla, who
Carla Perillas.
Bobby, Bobby's wife.
Yeah, Bobby's Carla.
I don't know.
They have a Sphinx cat, Tabitha. Oh, it's the coolest cat.
I don't know if I've ever seen it. I've known Carla a long time too, longer than Bobby. I've known Carla 34 years too, like I've known
I
Nick.
would take Tabitha everywhere.
She does.
No, Groot's more of the, I think, photogenic one. He's usually the one in the little outfits and the one like posing.
Oh,
Are
nice.
they the cats with no hair?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're like those Egyptian cats. Like,
You have to
yeah,
feed
I
them
just
to
think they're like weird looking and I like them.
The hair ball.
long. How long you know
So,
Carla?
oh, they came on the other show that I was on. And
Oh,
I
nice.
actually my son, it's crazy because my son just got a drum kit. Well, it's actually like an electric drum set. He
Okay.
got it because he wants to be like Bobby from Sidearm.
Oh, nice. Bobby's great. Great singer too, believe it or not.
Oh, we've whenever they play near us, we try to get over to see them, and Jackson he just loves going there because they play Imagine Dragons for him.
Yeah,
Alright.
see, we're all friends. We're all in the same circuit. We all kind of help each other out. Everyone is there for each other. I met Bobby when I played with. I was in the comp when we played with Octane. I think it was probably Kitty's or somewhere
Yeah.
in Wildwood, and that's when I met Brian Quinn.
I'm
Uh,
so excited. Just got tickets to Candlebox.
oh,
I'm gonna see
nice,
that. Yeah, I'm gonna see
nice.
their
It's really, really
finale.
good too. So,
Yeah,
you know, we're all the same. We're all brothers,
We
brothers,
all play the same
brother
places.
musicians. We all support each other. It's nice when we're playing and some of those musicians come out. It's a good feeling. It's a little scary, because you want to play
I've
great.
noticed with you OGs, you guys all like if another legend is there, you guys all just kind of jump on and vibe together. I mean, it's awesome.
It's great.
I mean, it's fun. It's honestly it's so fun seeing all of that. I want to say I'm probably under Anthony Baker. All of Anthony Baker's
Uh,
cover bands. It's just a good time. You know it's going to be entertaining. You know it's going to be fun, and you never really know who's going to be there and
You never
get
know,
involved in it.
and
and that's why
Anthony's very in tune with his bands. He's doing great for us. I couldn't be happier working with
I, Anthony. Like I said, I worked with his dad since I
him. Me
was
too.
15 years
Yeah.
old. Freddie though was one of the top agents and really great guy. And all of his bands were amazing musicians, great bands. Prowler, Pegasus, Witness, the Dead End Kids, you know, Kashmir, and there were more. The Diamonds, he
Money.
money. He had all those bands. And I was young and I watched these bands. I couldn't believe the musicianship. They were on. The bands were great. His bands were really good, and they looked great too. They all had their own image too.
You
And
had to be good back then.
Freddie would always say, "Jimmy, listen, people hear with their eyes.
Mhm.
I know you got to sound good, but they hear with their eyes too. And he's right. Images are really important too. Whether we agree on the same image,
But
that's another
but
thing.
back then you had big stages, you had major light shows. You played on these big
They
places.
did.
So bands I back then really gave a good. They really put on a good show for you. That's when I really enjoy going watching bands. Like I just like that whole atmosphere of when they come on. It's like whoa, that kind of thing. The thrill. And back then, that's what inspired me a lot is watching those bands back then. Like seeing how they just come out like dressed cool and dead end kids
And
playing
it
their
sounded
guitars.
sounded great.
Oh my god, you had to be good back then. You couldn't
You
play
had to be
guitar if
good.
you were not good.
I'm sure you still have to be good now.
Well, no, I'm not saying it was not good. I'm just saying like back then you really had to be top notch. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like some of those rooms because they were humongous rooms. 5 stages at the penalty box. I mean,
And I'm sure they did the right material. Material is everything too. You got to do the right music. You have to do what's happening or what they want. And when Nick sees them
Now,
on the
as
dance
far
floor,
as promoting, how do you guys go about attracting a new audience? Do you just leave it all up to Anthony?
no, I mean, of course, social media. So when you go, so if we go to new rooms, we'll pick up people that I've never seen you before. And then they get involved. You hand them a card. I have business cards. I give them a card, and we get hired for a party from them. And those new people see us. It just spirals like that.
see, it's different now because back in the day, what we used to do, we make flyers up, and we would go to
Hmm.
clubs where some big bands playing,
Yeah.
go to the parking lot, and put stuff on their cars, and hand out flyers to people as they would come out of the venue. Today, you
The
really don't
concerts we
do
did
that.
that.
I think we should go back to doing it. And, I have to say, in LA, we did that too. And I used to see Brett and Ricky Rocket, and they would be handing out stuff too. They would promote the band, and everyone did that. Then that was more fun. It was like a
Yeah,
party
yeah.
in the parking lots of the
I remember
clubs
going to the Spectrum.
when other bands, yeah, Spectrum, or when Howard Stern was on South Street when he came. I made sure I had flyers for our band. We were playing the cell block, and we were giving out flyers. 30,000 people.
Yeah, I was there.
That's
Did
how
you
I
go
met a
on to
lot of them.
Howard?
What's that?
Did you get one to Howard? Did you work one of the
No, I couldn't
flyers?
get near Howard, but I did meet Jay Leno because he was there. But no, I couldn't get near Howard. But I did work with Stuttering John on his show with Black Eyed Susan. He was cool. Howard was too big, too hard to get near. Yeah.
But yeah,
So,
promotion is key. I mean, if you
what would you
if you just
say is your primary social media platform?
Probably Facebook and Instagram. That's for me. Instagram, Facebook. I notice that if I share, which you should, uh, I don't get as many people see it for some reason. So if I copy it in my own, I'll get a few hundred people seeing it. Now, Get the Lead Out did the same thing. We used Facebook a lot and would actually pay to get more people to see it, because it works if you pay Facebook.
Facebook is weird nowadays. I mean, you won't even see half of people's posts. It was different, but a few years ago, it's gotten a little more controlled, and it's not as you really got to find it. Like Dominic's really good at knowing what to do with that kind of stuff. Dominic's our tech guy. He knows
Yeah,
everything about.
he's
So
smart
Yeah,
guy.
it's
he's just
definitely changed.
yeah. It's definitely. I mean, social media is definitely the way to go. But
Well,
there's good word of
we have
mouth.
friends on the radio too. Like Jackie is a good friend of mine on MMR, Jackie Bam, and he'll mention us too. And a lot of people, he wants us to go on, but and I listen to the radio all day.
Are you going to the
I,
MM barbecue?
we didn't get that. We didn't try and do that. We should try and do that.
Yeah,
Our friends,
we're getting tickets.
our friends are playing there. I think our
We're
friends.
probably playing. When is it?
Uh, I, fr- I'm blanking right this second. I want to say end of August, maybe the beginning of September.
But
Yeah.
even MGK was great. John DeBella had us on a lot. We did the morning show playing live, and that got a lot of attention too for like the Caswick or the local venues. The radio is good too. It's good to have radio and Facebook and Instagram. I think.
And playing down the shore is a big key. I mean, Atlantic
True.
City, down the shore points, because you got people coming from all over the place. So that's a really good venue to be at is down there because a lot of people from different areas will see it. So you can pick up a lot more people. That's what a lot of those bands did back then.
How do you?
So just give me a handful of the upcoming shows that you have going on.
I have to look at the
We
schedule.
have the whole list that will be posted up, but just for people listening,
Yeah. So Jimmy and I kick off Memorial Day weekend Friday. We're doing a duo. This place called Mooncussers in Cape May, 4 to 8, and then No, I'm sorry. I'm looking for my schedule.
oh, there
Yes,
is the
yes.
flyer.
I can tell you.
Mooncussers is Friday, 4 to 8. Jimmy and I, and then Wading Pines. It's a camp resort out in Chadsworth, New Jersey. And that's a 6 to 10. And then Sunday we're at Sunset Grill in Ocean City, Maryland.
It looks
Oh
like
yeah, there's a schedule.
it looks like we're mostly playing a lot of Cape May, Wildwood. You know, Then when we do local, maybe Chickies and Pete's, which is great. Hopefully we get some food, some crab fries,
Oh,
Oh,
and
I love Chicky and Pete's. That's
yeah,
like one of my favorite. And there's something about the one that's like down in the middle of the city, like that one's just so much better.
you mean the one in
Chicky.
Robbins Evan, or near me in South
The
Philly?
yeah,
I have one around the corner from me on Packer Avenue. That's great. It's beautiful there. I used to
I
play
have
there.
not been to that one yet. We
That's
have
real
one
nice.
up towards me in Bucks County, and it's just not the same as like a city's Chicky and Pete's.
Yeah, I agree. I've been to a couple that weren't all that great.
I wonder why.
I mean, I think the original's probably is that
The original is like a small house. It's so
Yeah,
little.
really
The food was unbelievable. I used to go there all the time.
Oh, I always try to, like, suggest that we go there. If we're anywhere in the area, I'm like, "Let's go to Chicken Pete's."
I go to one of the casino a lot.
Oh, we have to go to that one next time.
I
We
always
do
go
play
there.
Parks a lot. Parks, it's cool. They're good to us there too.
Yeah,
360. That's a good
Yeah,
one.
I haven't been
Sounds
down there in a
great.
while, but I definitely wanna get down there soon. It's
yeah,
like
we do
such
very well.
a just a fun venue. Do they still have the floor that changes color?
Nah, they did after COVID. They remodeled the whole place,
Mm.
so
Oh,
it's
You mean
really?
the dance floor?
dance floor used to like
Yeah.
kind of
Ah,
like a 70s thing. It used to have.
that's kind of cool, you know. One thing we noticed when we aim a few lights in the crowd, that when they're dancing, they like to be in the lights. You know, it's kind of cool. You feel like a star a little bit. You know, and it's
Lights
nice.
is like a big thing now. Like I've noticed, everybody has the colored lights. Like I know my son's into like all the video games and everything, and he like needed these like certain lights to be like all the other gamers on YouTube, and I'm like, really? Like that's those
Yeah,
are very
probably.
expensive lights.
They're expensive, but you know they're what's cool about the lights today is they're LEDs, so they're not real hot.
Right.
Remember those cans?
Us, you know, we're used to
Woo!
the par cans,
Bake you.
which look cool though. Sometimes you know, you want to look good, you're gonna have to suffer a little
You
bit.
have to sweat.
It's the way it is, you know. But those par cans did look cool.
Yeah,
They were like, you know, the
they were
light ones
so
were
hot.
500 watts, but the 1,000 watters felt looked the best because
Remember
you could see the beam, you know.
the Penn East, the drum rising, the lights were bright. They would burn
Oh
you.
yeah, they
Oh
burn
man,
everything, burn our amps, you know.
it was so hot.
That's all right. It's rock and roll,
The
you
new
know.
lights are cool.
My son considers like he's like you're a cool mom because I wasn't about to paint my walls with those crazy like triangles like all the kids were doing at one point, like the crazy like bright triangles.
Mm.
So I was like, okay, we'll just go get strip lights. And I sat there like an OCD, like crazy person, and I made all the triangles with the strip
Ah,
lights,
That's so
and
cool.
I did them in strips so they can kind of like ombre, like the colors can change and like go through. So he's
yeah,
got the crazy lights in his room. I don't know. I can't have all that in my room. Like when I'm going in my room, I'm going to bed. I'm not
yeah.
like trying to have like a million different lights. And when the power goes out, all those lights start blinking.
Mm.
Yeah, it's like too much for me at night.
I got a disco ball in my room.
Bring back the disco ball.
I got
That'd be fun if it came down as soon as you started singing. It was like interactive.
the disco ball.
Yeah,
Oh my god, love the
that's
disco
like
ball.
every like the Bachelor pad, every movie. Like,
Right? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so Jimmy, how many bands would you say that you've been in? Even counting like the couple that were like just a day or two.
Unfortunately, yeah, because the Electric Bow was just a day or two. But I did enjoy Electric Bow with that girl Rachel on bass. That was John Higgsy on the vocals. That was his band. Uh, but man, you know, uh, always I was always in an original band while I was in a cover band. This way, I could branch off and do my own thing. And there was a great band called Pole Taylor on vocals, great, and another band, Katie Neal, and you know, I was in a lot of original bands, and I could probably remember the cover bands, Kashmir, you know,
Comp.
Kashmir, LeCompte, uh, Near Candy. I guess Get the Let Out would be considered a cover band, right? I don't consider it a
No,
tribute band. I
any
don't even,
band at all. Like any
Green
band
Day's
at all. How many
Green
bands have
Day's
you been in?
pretty good.
you
That's
know, not that
originals.
many
That's
because
tribute.
it's
That's
kind of
cover.
it's kind of like a girlfriend. I haven't, you know, I haven't had. I've always had long relationships with, you know, with girls. So I've had long relationships with my bands too. You know, I never went from band to band, and if I did, it was only because, you know, well, this one had a big record deal, or I liked the music better. But maybe nine or ten. You know, originals would be, you know. Angora, Heaven's Edge, Black Eyed Susan. But then we also changed our name to. We also had. Well, no, we didn't. We changed members because Black Eyed Susan. Also, we took Jeff Cease from the Black Crowes when he lost the Black Crowes gig.
Ah,
We
that's
we took him in for a year, and that was cool. I learned a lot from Jeff. Great guitar player, and that was cool. He told us a lot of cool stuff about the Black Crowes and what them guys were like, and everyone loves the Crows, right? But yeah, I've only been in about five original bands, probably, and then 4 or 5 cover bands, probably 9 or 10 bands
Mhm.
altogether. Because, like I said, you build a relationship, and I've always had nice long relationships with each band, like each girlfriend, I
And a lot
guess.
of guys and a lot of bands want to play with him. That's why I snagged him when I knew he was free.
I could I could have gotten in a couple bands now while I'm in Ear Candy, couple original, couple great artists too to work with cover wise, but
Yeah,
I was just
when would you ever find the time? Like, your
well,
schedule's
I
crazy.
could, but you know what? I was honest and said I can't, I don't want to. When I just want to dedicate myself to Ear Candy right now, and because I don't want my head to get too clogged up with all different kinds of music. Although I probably could, like right now I just want to concentrate on this band because we got a good thing. I think we play really, we click, you know, and it's nice when you find that. And that's why I'm like doing
And there's
this.
not a really original scene around this area. I mean,
And if I was going to do originals,
get out of here.
it wasn't for money. It would be for fun. Maybe we could write our own songs, because we're
That
already
would
together.
be
We're
so
already clicked.
fun.
Why not, right? It is different when you do originals. I have to say, I don't know what it is. When you're on stage doing originals, you feel different up
Yeah.
there.
Nick, would
Just
you be
feel.
down for that?
Oh, I would. Yeah, yeah, I would do one. One or two.
It can't hurt to throw a couple originals in while we're doing covers. Once you get your crowd, I think they'll accept it.
I always. I mean, if like certain guy, like Mike's, he still writes and stuff like that.
And Mike does originals.
So it's real hard just to say, oh, write an original, and you know what I mean. Like, you really got. For me, anyway, when I was doing originals, that's all we did. That's all we
Mm.
concentrated on. So for me, it would have to be like really concentrate on that. Try to come up with something good instead of just something that's anybody could do.
So
No,
you
I
gotta
hear.
get all the way through the summer and then relook at this late fall when your schedule is like slowing up a little bit.
Lightens up. Yeah, I mean that's actually not a bad idea.
I'm hoping it doesn't lighten up. See, because me, this is all I know, and this is all I've ever done, and Nick too. But I've really never had a day job, so I've only played at night to to make a living for the past all my life. Even in California, we didn't really get paid much, but none of us could really find day jobs, so we did telemarketing. But we mostly played all the time. You have to. I
Do
like
you have
playing
any
a lot.
other hobbies? Do you have any other hobbies that you do besides music?
I don't. I mean, I have my kids, my family, but they don't even want to be near me. I don't know. Do you have any
I
hobbies?
run
Yeah.
prostitutions out of North
Good for you. Maybe I should hook up with Nick. Yeah. I am starting to.
Write a song about your prostitution ring. There you go.
Philly.
I am starting to. Get into the gardening and stuff. And it's a lot. And
Oh, nice.
it's hard though. It's hard. I'm learning. We're both learning. We don't know what we're doing, but trying to make it look nice.
Yeah, I'm
Have
not a gardener. Like,
it's
thank God, like one of my good friends is because he totally like hooks up my gardens, but
ooh,
I am not.
you gotta
Like
have it.
I'm good with like picking some weeds and like making sure that it like kind of looks okay, but whenever I try to plant something, it dies. It just doesn't make it.
Yeah. you just got to keep trying. I don't know. It is nice when you start seeing things grow, and you walk by and say, "Wow, it looks so nice." Sometimes I wore things that 10 minutes later they look different. They like perk up. I'm like, "Oh wow,"
I know. I
So
just got. I put in 6 wild rose bushes from
uh,
Home Depot, and not a lot of them made it, but the one is like thriving. And I have this beautiful like rose on the one side, and I was like, you know what? It was worth it. Out of 6, I got
Yeah,
you
right.
4
know what?
pieces.
Maybe they just didn't take. That's why I feel some. You have to give them time. Maybe they just didn't take, and maybe that one did. So yeah, yeah. You,
Eh,
you did good. One's living.
yeah, I feel like they're wild. So I mean, it's a chance you take. They did
Now,
do they did do phenomenal the first year. Like they were crazy big, but yeah, they just didn't make it this year, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's hard to get into something like that. I wanted to do a garden. That's my brother did garden. Everybody,
mm,
I never did that stuff. Because you sleep until 4, then you gotta
you
go
still
play.
sleep until 4 though. You don't
Nah,
do
not
that anymore.
anymore. I wish I could.
I used to sleep till
Jesus, I
4,
wish
but
I could.
I don't anymore
No,
either.
I get.
If we get
I
home,
can't. I'm an early riser. I am.
Nap. I can totally
I
nap.
used to, but now I'm really digging getting up 7:30 in the morning because man, you get so much done.
Yeah.
And you can even go food shopping, come home and say, man, it's not even noon yet. And you still got the whole day. And I'm still up
Yeah, and you
all
don't have
night.
to deal with like massive people.
Right.
That's why I like getting stuff done in the morning.
And well, we
Plus,
live in
I've
the
been like
city.
real big. I've been going to. Have you ever been to a punk rock flea market?
No, I would
It's
love to
like this
go.
new thing that they're doing that it's basically a flea market, but like people will have like all this alternative stuff, like
Like like
vintage
what?
band tees and like little weird creations that they've made or like clothing that they've designed.
That's
It's
cool.
really, yeah, it's a lot of fun. And my friends and Jackson, my son, and we all have the bug. Like we wake up at the crack of dawn to go all over the place to go check out what they have. And some of them are
Where are these
awesome.
places?
Yeah, you have to let us know where because
I
that could be
think
my
there's
new.
one in Phoenixville this weekend.
So is
Yeah,
it
but they're
cold?
like, it's
Punk
a
rock?
total hit or miss. The one in Philadelphia is usually like off the hook. The one in Philadelphia
Yeah.
has food trucks and the whole 9 yards.
Oh,
Yeah, but
nice. What's it
yeah,
actually called? Punk rock flea market?
yeah, it's called the Punk Rock Flea Market. They have a Trenton one.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
it's just a
Well,
bunch
we
of
could.
vendors that set up with just all sorts of cool stuff like art.
And see, the thing about that is that's how you get different things that everyone
Mhm.
else doesn't have. Even for stage, stage clothes and things for your house. So,
You used to have a
you
place to
know,
go for stage, to try to dress a little different
well,
now.
we would have South Street and we would get stuff there. You'd find some cool stuff back in the day. Now there's not much,
Now,
but you
I
know,
have this really cool place near me called Siren Records, and not only do they sell like the vinyls and
mm,
just the CDs. I mean, they just have everything as far as selection, but they also sell like vintage t-shirts. And
mm,
I kept like standing there deciding between the Motorhead and
just get them
I
both.
ended up getting Screeching Weasels. I was like, yes, I haven't heard this band in so
Or
long. I used to have
screaming
a
trees.
compilation disc
Uh,
with one of their songs that I like
that's cool.
played on repeat. Yeah, but really
Yeah,
fun, like it's just. Have you ever seen the movie Empire Records? It's about a music store that basically eh, all these kids they work in the store, but it's also like their second home.
oh,
And
nice.
yeah, it has a lot of famous people. Liv Tyler, it's got Renee Zellweger, like a bunch of stuff, a bunch of famous people, but it reminds me of that place. Like they have live music sometimes. It's just a fun record place.
That's cool.
Yeah, if you're
I
ever in
can't wait.
Doylestown, check it out.
I'm definitely looking up punk rock flea markets for sure. That's cool.
Yes.
There's flea markets in general. You can find some cool stuff, you
Oh,
know?
well, my family has owned an antique shop. So I
Nice.
grew up around antiques and around like vintage clothes and around all of that. So yeah, I love a good flea market.
Is that where you got that shirt?
I love the
MTV?
No,
shirt. I'm lucky to have that.
That
I
is cool.
actually got this because I was going to a 90s party
Mm.
and I couldn't figure I ended up dressing like uh Liv Tyler from Empire Records, but I had bought this t-shirt to wear just in case nobody else had dressed up
I bet
because I
nobody
had
else
these
has
like
it. Sure.
really big boots on. MTV.
It's great. I remember when MTV first came out, they only had 2 or 3 videos and there was no commercials. It was great. I don't
Oh,
remember.
I I used to love it, and now it's very strict. Like they have videos that they play on like a different station for MTV, but it's definitely not the same as what I remember the music videos being like on MTV.
Yeah, and that really helped a lot of the 80 bands. I mean, you had a video on MTV, you were selling millions, everyone was seeing it. In the 80s it was great. I
Kurt
guess this
Loder.
around the 90s, right?
Yeah, it was a blessing and a curse because it killed the mystique of the bands. I think you know what I mean. Like you went to go see band for MTV, you would go see bands and you didn't know what they looked like so much. You know what I mean? And there was kind of that mystique there. I thought that was really cool. Now, and when MTV came out, you saw the band so it saturated everybody. You know what I mean? That's what happened in the '80s. It got so saturated with all those bands. When the '90s came in, it was such a different thing. You know what I mean? That everybody's that's what killed us.
Well, Kurt Cobain did say, that's why they did what they did. That the 80s bands were such a positive, party,
Yeah,
fun bands. They wanted to be the opposite, negative, dull, depressing, and just
kind of like Black Sabbath.
don't dress up. Uh, but it's still great. You know, they just
I
they're
love
unique.
watching like the biopics on any of the like artists from the 80s because the lifestyle was different.
It's
I
so,
mean,
so good.
they just it was
It
just
really,
a different vibe.
it was really just for me anyway. It was like a blast. Like I just remember everything was just always fun. People were fun.
Everyone was cool. Everyone got along. Everyone looked great. You thought everyone was a rock star, even if they looked like rock stars. They didn't even know how to sing or play. Didn't matter. But I have to say, when I listen to that stuff now, all that '90s stuff, it's so good. I can't
Yeah, I
even
appreciate it more now.
believe how good it is. Eddie Vedder, his voice, it's Chris Cornell and Kurt Cobain, all of them, all those
Yeah, when you
bands.
listen to them now, it's like
There, I didn't appreciate it. I didn't get it. You know what I mean? When it first came out. Now I'm like, you gotta do that stuff. That stuff's so good. When I hear it on the radio now, I'm like, oh my God, it's so good. It's really good. We just didn't get it. I was closed minded,
yeah,
I
different
was
era.
very into the 80s stuff. It was hard to, you know, adjust
And,
and move on with,
and,
with the
and
next
those
style of
and
music.
those bands weren't even around long enough. At least the '80s were a decade. I mean, the '90s only really lasted to '95.
Really?
Most of those grunge bands that grunge only really lasted
I'm
4
really
years.
digging when I hear the new Greta Van Fleet, and everyone sings, they're like Led Zeppelin. People would ask me and get the letter, oh, what about Greta? I'm like, what about them, man? They're they don't sound anything like Led Zeppelin. Uh,
I think it sounds like
I
Eddie
went
Lee.
to see them live because I was in Colorado already to play Red Rocks, and they were playing there 2 nights before. So I stopped in, and I thought they were great. Really different. They had their own sound. The singer was really different. Guitar player was great. They did a lot of jamming. I think this new record, though, believe it or not, they really matured. It's really good. It's really good. You got to give it a listen. I didn't want to like it, but it's good. They're mature and they're
Yeah, and I
young.
think the older crowd, when they say sounds like Zeppelin, they do have some Zeppelin remembrances of their songs and stuff like
Now
that.
people are saying they sound more
I
like
think he sounds.
Triumph or Rush.
Yeah, I think he sounds like Eddie Lee. I don't think he sounds like Robert. I don't hear Robert
He
Plant.
really has the tone of Geddy Lee, but he really has his own style
Right.
too. And he's really, they're really thinking when they write their melodies. I think it's really good. I wanted to write a post about it because now I'm in car all day doing stuff. I'm listening to MMR, and I get to listen to a lot of music, and
Yeah,
it's
it was
cool.
so awesome. Live Nation did this thing where it was $25 and it was for like any concert
Oh, I
on
seen that.
this like list of like I'm talking like I think it was like 150 bands or something.
Hmm.
So I went through and I was like ding 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 like these are the ones I want to go to and we've been kind
Was
of like
Aerosmith
trying to
on
like
there?
what?
Was
I,
Aerosmith on there?
Aerosmith. I'm sure that was on there too. I thought I
No,
seen
that
it.
wasn't on there. That wasn't on the $25 list.
Those
Yeah,
tickets
we,
are insane.
we were talking
Well,
about the
I
other
bought
night when
myself tickets.
we were talking about how like crazy it was because it was like $2,500 for the meet and greet. I
Yeah.
mean, that's
Oh yeah,
insane.
yeah. Well, what are you gonna do? I mean, look, if you want to meet the band, is it? It's only a couple dollars more. Just pay it. And if you meet Steven Tyler, I hear, friends of mine have met. He's so cool. He'll make it worth it. You know what I mean? He's
I
loving
felt
and
so bad for
fun.
Rachel when she wrote that post. She's like, nobody talked to me for like 17 days. And I
She's
was
met
like,
him. I'm sure she met him, right? And
and I think she had met him before.
I have friends that met him and paid for the meet and greet, and they said he was just so cool and really spent time with them. Didn't just do a photo. He didn't
Right,
do
yeah,
a
yeah.
picture and say, "Okay, that's it." No, Tyler's really cool.
I've seen them like 7 times. I saw them in Vegas. I
I've
mean,
seen him a few times. They are great.
I love them. It was one of
But
my
Tyler
favorite
is
bands.
great live.
I
And a
haven't seen
cool dude.
Aerosmith. I
Never
did
saw
see
them?
Rolling Stones. I have seen some of
Did you
the
love the
bigger.
Stones? Were the Stones great?
I was young. I was really young, so I did not get to appreciate them like I should have, but it was a very cool experience.
Yeah, Mick Jagger's great. Keith Richards is so great.
I kind of get a little bit of that Mick Jagger vibe from Mike LeComp.
Ah,
Like the
Mike's
first time
always
ever
been.
seeing him, I was like, okay, this is like the Mick Jagger of Philly. I got, I, I get it.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, definitely. Mike's a
Oh,
great
he was
entertainer.
in his jeans had like stars on them. I was like, yes.
Mhm. Hey, I
But
want those.
yeah, it was a big show. And I mean, like, it was so many people. It was at one of the bigger venues. I think that one might have even been in New York. It was a whole thing that my parents had like got tickets to, but yeah, very cool experience.
Well, how young were you? How old were you?
I would say probably 10.
That is young. Yeah, it's hard to remember that. So it's still cool.
Yeah, I was young. Like I remember I was still at the phase that I wanted like glow in the dark, like wavy things
Right.
because they were selling them in the gift
Yeah,
shop.
you were
So I
still
mean, like
young.
I was young. I remember they played I believe Wild Horses.
Oh, nice.
That was that was like the song that I really like knew then. So,
Okay. At that age,
but
that's cool.
very cool. Well, I guess we're getting close to our time. So, real quick, we'll run through all of your social media are going at the bottom. But again, you
Huh.
have some stuff coming up at Cape May and you're at the PC Pub on the 3rd.
Yep.
We will
June.
have the list of all the different venues and shows that you have coming up. And I'm definitely going to try to get out on the 3rd to see you guys.
Cool.
Always a good time.
Yes.
Yeah, we're looking forward to the summer. I mean, we really are because it's gonna. I mean, we got a nice full schedule, and it's gonna be cool. We got a lot of private
Any
parties.
vacations planned besides shows? Like, do you have any vacations
Yeah,
in
I
the
mean,
works?
I go to Atlantic City a lot, so I'm in Atlantic City all the time, and Ocean City, Maryland. I hit there for a little while, so.
Nick's a gambler,
Just during the week.
which is good.
I'm a bad gambler, meaning I don't win.
Unfortunately, when these guys, if they go on vacation, I'll just probably play with somebody else. I'll keep playing.
Yeah, which is great. It opens like Mike will take them on for some
I
gigs.
need it because that pandemic really messed me up. For a year and a half, I didn't touch my guitar for a year and a half. I mean, I didn't look at it, so it's hard to get back into it. So I need to keep playing. It's in my blood, It's why not. And it's in all their blood, but I got to learn how to sit back and just look, like these guys do. I can't.
We don't. I mean, like with Dominic will go on vacation. We get fill in bass players and fill in drummers.
He's been doing some cool stuff
Yeah.
where he has the trailer. Do you don't go on vacation or anything?
Oh yeah, I try to go down to Wildwood. I like to take
I don't.
Jackson down for at least like a couple nights and go
Yes.
down there.
Yeah, I'm
Um
down.
we go to the pool a lot, so I mean Jackson's like a little fish. Me not so much because of the hair. I mean, I go in, I'm more like an octopus with the ink
Yeah.
coming off, but a lot of concerts. We did the Live
Concerts are
Nation
cool.
thing, so
You
we
know
have a
what?
lot. I think it
I would love to
starts
try.
with Candlebox and Three Doors Down.
That's cool. That'll be good. Two
And
great singers. Two great
yeah,
singers. That's important. I'd love to see the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I'd love to see them again because I seen them back in the day, and they were so good live. Have you ever seen the Peppers live?
I don't think they were on the list, but they could be though.
They're really great.
And there's a lot of
I think
'90s
they
things
were
coming
I
back.
think they're playing a couple festivals
Yeah, they're
coming up.
definitely a cool band. Parks
Yeah, I
Casinos having
definitely
who else?
I
Jim
think
Block.
they're playing Blue Ridge or one of them. I just saw it recently that they were on one of them. But yeah, that would be a fun one to get out to.
Yeah, you would love it. I've
So
I've
I
seen.
know
I've
from
seen.
now on, when I see you guys play, I should request Red Hot Chili Peppers.
We don't do any, believe it or not. And I would
None.
love to see Smashing Pumpkins too. Billy Corgan's so good.
Oh,
Completely
that would be so good.
so good,
Yeah,
so
they're
good.
definitely on my list. I actually wanted to go see them last year. I think they played at Ashbury Park or
Ooh,
Asbury Park. Yeah, I couldn't get there because of Jackson's school schedule, but yeah, definitely on my bucket list.
I love your background. What do you got going on back there?
I have this wallpaper with skeletons on it, and then
Really
I
cool.
just recently got this from the punk rock flea market.
See,
It's a sign for the Misfits.
it's great. Love it.
If I can like tip it up a
Very,
little.
very cool. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah, let me,
I saw it with a bunch of toys and I was like, "Oh my goodness, I need that."
yeah, so cool.
Let us know next time there's one around. Like, shoot us a message or something. I would like to check it out. Actually,
Yeah,
it's probably
Yeah, I believe the next one is in Phoenixville and I believe it's this weekend. I don't know. I think they're on Saturdays, but I'm not sure. But it's
mm,
usually like Saturday mornings. But I mean, I went to one in the rain a couple weeks ago. I mean, no shame in my game. I went in
yeah,
the rain and I got so much stuff. I mean, I walked out of there like with bags. My friends are
yeah.
like,
It's great. It's probably so inexpensive too.
"Oh,
Cheap, yeah.
well, I'm going to see Beetlejuice the musical. My best friend got it
Ooh,
for me for Christmas. So I've been waiting, and like it comes up that it's playing June 9th. So I'm going through the t-shirts, and all of a sudden I see this vintage Beetlejuice shirt from like the 80s. From it's
Oh my god,
great. I was like, I like need this. So yeah, that was like my find of the day. I was so excited.
Cool.
I love that movie.
Yeah, I've been like tormenting everybody. I've learned all of the songs, and I keep putting them on TikTok and like talking about which cosplay I'm gonna do because Beetlejuice has always been. I like revisit it every year and give it a different twist. I've had like the snake coming out of my mouth at one point. I did the traditional Beetlejuice. I did the sexy Beetlejuice. A little bit of everything.
Nice. In your photos and stuff, and
Yeah,
you
well,
do a
I
lot of
do the 31 days of Halloween,
mm,
I was gonna
where
say
the
Halloween's on my
entire
career.
month of October, I've done it for 10 years now.
nice.
Uh, the entire month of October, I do a different character each day. And I dress up, do my whole makeup, the whole 9 yards.
You're like a kid.
I am. I definitely am.
What's wrong with that?
Like, I just recently did that photo shoot, and Kimberly Pace and I just had way too much fun.
Yeah,
I mean, you get two like weirdos with a
yeah,
set and just in
yeah.
the zone, just magic happens.
Nice.
Like everything I would say, like she's like, yes, and everything she would suggest, I would be like, I'm in. Yeah, creating magic. But I thank you so much for taking the time tonight. Seriously, guys, this was so much fun, and I definitely gotta have you on again. I know
Definitely.
Yeah,
Jessie was like so disappointed that she couldn't get to talk to you guys, but when family has
next
an
time.
emergency, it is what it
Yeah,
is.
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
We would love to do it again and have everyone together.
Yeah,
yeah. You
definitely.
talk to the other guys.
And I will. I'm definitely gonna try and get up on June 3rd to PC Pub, and we will have all your listings online,
Great.
and very easy for everyone to find out exactly where to go to see EARCANDY.
Yes. Thank you so much.
How do you share this podcast?
It's on YouTube.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, I'll send you the link as soon as
Oh,
it goes up. I will send it right over to you, so
oh,
you
cool. Thank
can
you.
put it on your pages and good to
Yeah,
go.
that'd be nice.
Great.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much,
thanks.
guys.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Allie. It was
Thank you.
great hanging with you.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you
you.
so much, and we'll see you
Bye.
June 3rd.
Always, always fun. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. Unfortunately, we ran out of time, but thank you so much. See you next week on a pretty little podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, and check out all of Ear Candy's upcoming events. And if you're around, check them out. Listen, share, watch, overwatch. We love it all. Good night.